have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with 360 footage. On the one hand, I love the creative results that you can get from it, but on the other hand, I often find that a lot of this stuff ends up stuck on my hard drive because I can never be bothered editing it. And then the other issue that I've had in the past is if I need to get cropped in or if the lighting is tricky, then sometimes the footage can look a little bit mushy, and that's not what you want. So, I'm reviewing the Osmo 360 today, and I want to see what it can add to my life as a content creator, how the footage holds up in many different situations, and also how tricky the editing is, because I know myself, if the whole editing experience is too much of a faff, I'll get to the same problems as I always do with 360 footage. I love that there's a little way to rotate the stick, by the way. It's so cool. Anyway, DJI sent me this unit to check out, thank you to them, but as always, thoughts are my own. So let's start with part one of my investigation. What fancy stuff can I do with it? First of all, I want to see if I can get some interesting POV sort of shots with the 360 camera, because I do a lot of street photography and I demonstrate my photography a lot. So I'm going to try a couple of different methods and see if any of them work. So the first setup is this. I've just got an arm and it's quite low. So the priority is what I'm shooting, but hopefully this will be in frame as well. Let's see how it works. So attempt one was a fail. As you can see, it's actually trying to erase part of the camera, and yeah, it wasn't the best of ideas, but I'm just experimenting to see what works and what doesn't. I think it's safe to say that this definitely doesn't. So if you're thinking of getting a 360 camera as a creator, one thing that's driving me nuts today is there's no way to bloody put it down, you know, because it's all lens. So I've just been passing it to my ever-patient husband, or trying to like balance it on its side. Even though it is waterproof and it's supposed to be quite rugged, you've still got to be really careful of the lenses. Next I tried a simpler approach and just attached it to the hot shoe, and this worked much better. I could get very wide and keep a bit of the camera in if I wanted, or I could zoom in and it horizon locked, and then I can just use it as a traditional POV where you don't even tell it's on a camera, it's just sort of showing what I'm shooting. And with the hot shoe you could also do this crazy tiny planet thing. So when I got the Osmo 360 out of the packet, I was like, wow, this is small. It really is tiny. It's only 183 grams as well. I personally think this form factor is a little bit more traditional than the standard 360 cameras that we've seen in the past. And I like that it gives you a horizontal screen as well. Another thing that I really like, and I'm a little bit obsessed with, is the case for the batteries. So I got this accessory and it contains 3 batteries. It's absolutely gorgeous, and each battery gives you 100 minutes of 8K recording. There's also 100 gigabytes of internal storage as well, so if you forget your memory cards all the time like I do, you're not completely screwed when you're out on location. So I have grand designs for a really top-down sort of shot. And the idea is that once it's up high enough, I'll be able to walk underneath it and have quite a natural-looking establishing shot. Okay, if this falls, I'm sorry, DJI. I just needed to clone out the tripod in Photoshop and add it as a layer to clean up this shot. But otherwise, I think it's really nice. I couldn't figure out how to do that when I added in the motion, but yeah, proof of concept. When you're in a 360 mode, it's important to keep the camera straight so that it can delete the stick. But if you know that you're going to be filming yourself, it also allows you to tilt it towards you. And that feels way more comfortable than sort of when you're on that, you kind of have to hold it out like this so that you don't get the stitch in the scene. So if you know you're going to be vlogging, I love that it does that. It makes it way more sort of inconspicuous. I reckon a combination of the mini tripod on the lowest setting might look really cool with 360 because I can walk over it. So I love the fancy things that 360 can do as much as the next person, but for me, I think just having it on a stick and being able to vlog quite sort of incognito is pretty cool. I mean, you are still talking to a stick. So it's never going to be the most comfortable thing in the world, but it's certainly a lot better than having the big mirrorless camera and the big fluffy microphone and the big mantis pod sticking out. I think, you know, you can be pretty incognito. And then just to try and get some POV of me, I've just got the stick out. I'm just trying to walk normally, and hopefully the camera will take out the stick so it doesn't look too weird. So much of this video is me actually testing things in real time, because as much as I want to review it, I want to see how I could add it into my workflow, and I'm curious as to how I can make the stick disappear. Let me show you what I mean. So if I'm holding a camera, I guess the camera needs to go in front of it. Does that look weird, or does that look really good? I don't know. We're finding out together. So I'm just literally, I've got the camera next to the pole and I'm just mooching through settings. So this obviously isn't a 360 thing, it's just a wireless microphone thing. But if you want to be able to talk far away from the camera and not have to worry about where you are in frame, I mean, I could walk all the way around the camera, hi husband, and it'll be absolutely fine. So like, if you want to do like wireless recording and not care about framing, this is such a convenient setup. So part 2, how is the image quality? I have high hopes for this for several reasons. Firstly, because the sensor in the Osmo 360 is a square sensor. And because we're taking a circular snippet of it, it means that you get a full 1-inch coverage from the sensor, which is a lot bigger than any other 360 camera on the market. Secondly, it shoots 10-bit, which is lovely, so it should give me similar push and pull to my Osmo Pocket, which I'm quite familiar with, or my Mini Pro 3 I think I have. And they also are 10-bit, but they also shoot the log profile that DJI has, and I think it's a very nice log profile. And we are shooting in 8K. So normally on a traditional camera, I think 8K is way overkill, but because it's 360, we are cropping in, we are reframing, so there's a lot more that you need to get out of this footage compared to a standard camera with just one lens. So I'm hoping that it's going to look really, really good. I'm going to try it in some different conditions with different lighting and see, because every camera looks good in good light. But with the 1-inch sensor coverage, I think this footage should stand up very well. And it's a very overcast day today, so even if this is looking good, I'm very happy, because I wouldn't shoot like other 360 cameras in this light, to be honest. You need it on a very bright day usually. Let me know what you think in the comments for the image quality. So more good news on the sensor front. Because it does have a larger sensor, it means we should, in theory, get some very nice low light footage, which I shall show you. There's also a dedicated low light mode, so you've got something in the camera that's going to boost that as well. But the sensor should do a lot of work to make the nighttime footage pretty clean. The second thing, by shooting in 10-bit and also having much more good sensor coverage, is you get 13.5 stops of dynamic range. This should be a good dynamic range test. I have the sun and also possibly an internal mic test because it's very windy right now, so I don't have high hopes, but we'll see. Also, I just very nearly took out one of the lenses on this by doing a crane shot, and yeah, no harm, no foul, but you definitely need to be more careful with a 360 camera than you do with a standard action camera. So I opened up the questions on my Instagram. Follow me over there. I have lots of fun behind the scenes, I promise. And one question a lot of people had was, how does it work in single lens mode? And this is single lens mode. And I'm super happy to see, I should probably pull it in a bit because I can't reframe this, it's single lens. You get As you can see, 5K open gate 4x3. If you want the single lens, then you have open gate recording up to 5K, so we can crop it vertically, we can crop it horizontally, and it works very well. I think this is really good bang for buck because I'll be using the 360 stuff sometimes, but honestly, if I'm talking to camera, I may as well just use this mode, which works really well. So now that I've reviewed the footage, I do think that this camera could add a lot to my life as a content creator, but it's not without its hiccups. I love some of the POV stuff, I think that looks great, and I do think throughout the video quality is wonderful, even in low light tricky situations like when I was in the pool place. I think vlogging with it is pretty fun, incognito, very easy to use. I love that I can use my DJI microphone that I got from the Pocket 3 with it, or even headphones in a pinch as well. And I have to say that the out of camera audio is very, very good. Very impressed with that. When I was filming, it started raining for a little while, which is why the footage moved indoors. 360 in general, not just this camera, but all of them, because it's all lens, if you get a drop of anything on the lens, you can't really shoot in inclement conditions. Yes, it's waterproof, but the footage will look pants. Whereas with a weather sealed action camera or a weather sealed camera, you could carry on absolutely fine. Now, in terms of lenses being replaceable or not, Insta360 do offer the lens replacement on their newer camera, which I think is really cool. DJI do give you a very affordable service to send the camera off to them, get it replaced and back. It's very cheap, but there is that extra barrier you're going to be without a camera for a couple of days while they do it. I do wish that there was replaceable lenses in this camera. I do think that's the only thing that I would change, because in pretty much every other aspect, it is a superb 360 camera. Or, you know, hopefully down the line we'll be getting lens guards as well and things like that. There is an option to turn the lens guards on in the software, so that accessory should be on the horizon, and that would mitigate a lot of the problems that I had with this. I'm obsessed with the hyperlapse. It's such a cool technique, and you can use these in vlogs to like transition from scene to scene. They're very quick and easy to record. It's a good shot. I know it's a good shot. You just look like a tit doing it. Now, the third thing that I wanted to learn in this video was, how does the Osmo 360 work in editing? There's a lot of good stuff to report and some things that are a little bit strange. So first of all, I think the app is very solid. It wasn't buggy, and I love the tracking capability. If I film a bit to camera and it's in 360, but I just want it to stay on me, I can track me and it'll do that automatically. There is also a selfie mode built into the camera, so it can do that automatically for you, but I wanted to shoot everything in 360 in case I wanted to cut to anything that I'm looking at. So tracking is really convenient. You don't have to go in and keyframe yourself. You can just track, and then you're in the center at all times. Similarly with the hyperlapses, I could just track the buildings and it would automatically do the footage for me. The app is very good. You can quickly change from vertical to horizontal. You can quickly look around the scene. You can add in keyframes. It's very, very nice and intuitive. If you wanted to film something and quickly get it on socials, you absolutely can via the app. There's just a couple of features at the moment that seem to be not quite there yet, but I think that's understandable because the camera system is so new. And if it comes down to waiting for the app to mature versus having amazing image quality, I think that's a much better thing to do than have a really good app, but the image quality isn't good and you don't end up using the camera. So overall, I'm a big fan of the Osmo 360. I think it's the most seamless 360 device that I've used so far, and the image quality is superb. There will inevitably be times where an action camera or a traditional camera will be more convenient, so I do think it's designed to be an additional camera rather than your main and only camera. I think it's really cool. I really like the form factor, I really like playing with it, and I love the creative results that you can get. Let me know in the comments what you think, and thank you so much for watching.